once he gets a feel for the rails, the cushions, he'll make these very often.
What do you think makes someone good at playing the bank shots, Chris? Is it just an instinct, a talent that you're born with, or is it something that you can really work on and become good at?
Well, I think you can work on it and become good at it. The problem over in Europe and the Far East is that we don't play bank pool tournaments, where in America, and especially where Billy's from, they play a lot of bank pool. And if you ask anybody in America, he's one of the best in the world, along with a guy called John Brumback. You watch them play and you think, oh, it's easy to make bank shots, but they make like 10 in a row, and it's unbelievable how good they are.
He made the bank shot, but he didn't make the 3 in the side. He's had a bit of fortune, though.
Yeah, there's a little bit of luck going off in this game at the moment. But he could be in trouble if Naoyuki Oi hits this well. And he didn't try to pot that, he tried to stick the cue ball in behind the 5. Got it all wrong, and that's why the cue ball went towards the corner pocket. And Billy has got nothing to do here. This is ABC for somebody of Billy's calibre. I don't think he's played his A game this week just yet, but he can certainly click into gear, and when he does, he runs round that table and he can win a match in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, he struggled early on in the first group he played in on Wednesday. He only won 1 of his first 4 matches, but finished strongly with wins over Niels Fine and Kelly Fisher, and that got him into the group semi-finals. And he almost got to the final. He was only beaten in a hill-hill finish by David O'Cady. Real struggle for him. He did beat Kelly Fisher. The other matches pretty heavily, actually. 2 of them were 5-0, so he finished to get him through, but he'll want to do much better today. I don't think he'll be happy with just surviving.
Well, if you watch Billy play and how a lot different to everybody else. Hardly with his back 2 fingers and his thumb. You just watch it. Ronnie O'Sullivan holds it similar. His hand drops, if you can just see the grip there. That's not common, and you wouldn't advise it. But it works for Billy, so there's no point changing it.
Yeah, and if you can play effectively with a loose grip like that, it helps to take some of the tension out of the cue action, which obviously is a good thing. You mentioned there, Chris, Banks tournaments, and we hear about this divisions of...
You rack the balls up in a 9 balls and try and make one. Or bank a ball into a corner pocket and it can't go another ball. It's got to go straight in, so you can't fluke it. And Billy's record in bank tournaments is unbelievable. And it's dedicate himself, really.
That really is tough going. It's so exacting. Of all the cue sports is carom billiards, where you're trying to get these cannons, even to get a few together. Such a... Of course, if you're good in those, it's divisions like 9-ball.
Yeah. One pocket. At the one pocket. 15 balls, and you've got to put 8 balls in the pocket, either the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, I've seen those. I mean, they can take a long time to get.
Yeah, and it's not. I mean, and in the one pocket out of about, and I finished 5th in the, and I've only ever played probably 2 or 3 times in my life. So it just shows you he can get away with it a little bit, but it shows when you come up against the real talented players, you're certainly second favourite.
Yeah, it's a discipline, I think, that requires, well, a lot of discipline and a lot of patience to be good at. But of course, you're a bit of an all-rounder, 8-ball and snooker as well, so cue in hand, you seem to be very well able to adjust to all the different disciplines.
Yeah, anything with a cue. I was very fortunate, really, because I started off playing English pool and then moved over to snooker. I was still playing English pool as well. Then I played 9-ball now and again in Cardiff at the World 9-ball Championships and played a few European Championships, but I never took it serious. But over the past probably 10 years, I've just been playing 9-ball mainly and the odd Chinese 8-ball event.
Well, back to the action here, and Naoyuki Oi needs to start making something happen here. He's already lost more racks today than he lost in all of his first 3 matches put together yesterday. He needs to wake up a bit here.
Yeah, and he played a brilliant shot there from the 2 to the 3. Just missed the 7 and the 9. That'll give him some confidence, because he won't like missing the 1-ball first rack. I think that's the easiest ball I've seen him miss.
Well, early on yesterday he was missing nothing, and I don't think the break did him any good. He was flying along, won his first 4 matches, was through to the semi-finals already at that stage, and I think he lost his momentum a bit when he came back in the evening.
Yeah, it's great to watch his Naoyuki. He's always got a smile on his face and jumping around the table. Very exciting to watch, because you never know what you're going to get with Naoyuki. But you shouldn't underestimate him. He's one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, he's someone who you just feel at any moment could just take that step up and win something like a US Open or a World Championship if he had a really good week. And he's had a really good rack here. He needed this. A bit ragged early on, but back in business here. Billy Thorpe still leads, but now it's 2-1. We'll have more in just a moment.
Going to the bottom cushion, maybe off the 8. Oh, trick shot by Woodward. What a shot by Evolution.
One thing's guaranteed, that shot will appear on plenty of highlight reels.
Whoa, did he split the wicket? What a beautiful shot that was. What a beautiful execution.
Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it's best if you get up to the table.
This championship is being played with the new Aramith tournament set. Featuring a unique molecular structure, it guarantees razor-sharp precision and unsurpassed longevity. Unquestionably the best pool balls in the world, this set is available in a TV and a value pack version, as well as in the new My Aramith range of ball and cue cases. Now you can bring and play with the best ball set everywhere you go. My Aramith, bringing new dimensions to your billiards experience.
Welcome back to Stadium MK in Milton Keynes, where Billy Thorpe leads Naoyuki Oi by 2-1 in the opening match for both of them in Group 5 of the Predator Championship League. Thorpe to break in the 4th.
And yet another break where Billy has no clear shot at the one ball. Very unfortunate for the 7 to go in front. And where do you push out to here? He's looking at leaving it in the middle of the top rail, but that's no good. Because Naoyuki will probably take the one on, or clip off the one, send it towards the 5 and stick the cue ball behind the 4. That's a bad choice for me. I don't like that shot whatsoever. I feel that you're giving your opponent a real easy chance to put you in a good snooker.
Mieszko Fortunski is just levelled at 1-1 against Alban Ocean on the other table. Ocean runner-up in Group 4 last night to Niels Fine. Second time he's been beaten in a final of a group this week.
Yeah, and he keeps trying his heart out, does Albin. Gets a little upset when things don't go his way, but he's certainly a battler.
I bumped into his sister Jasmine in the hotel earlier. She's arrived now and will be involved in Group 7 on Sunday, so she'll have one chance to get through to the winners group. She may well be playing her brother.
Well, Billy tried the shot I said, but he's not played it great. He had to make sure that he got the one ball behind the 5, and it looks like he's left Naoyuki a straight bank shot on the 1.
Oh, you've got to be making those, Chris.
Yeah, it's banked a little short there. And what I mean by that is it's come below the side pocket. If it banks long, it goes above the side pocket, but he's got lucky. The green 6 is in the way. And again, Billy may have to play a safety here.
Well, that's the risk with a bank shot, isn't it? If you miss, you have no idea where it's going to finish up. You're trusting to luck. And as you say, on this occasion, he's had it.
Yeah, it's all about the pace, how you play them shots, obviously. The softer you hit him, the higher the object ball will go. And the harder you hit him, the lower the ball will go. And that's another poor shot from Billy. That's a real poor shot.
You wouldn't say it's been the greatest of performances from either of them so far.
No, they're both struggling, both playing a lot of slack safety shots. And there's been a fair few misses also.
He's represented Japan 6 times in the World Cup of Pool and done well in it. Got to the semi-finals twice. Way back in 2007, lost 9-4 to the eventual winners China, and then faced the England B team when they got to the semis again 8 years later. Went even closer, lost 9-7.
Was that Darryl Peach and Mark Gray?
I think that's right, yeah.
Yeah, and Darryl and Mark might be watching, so hope you do both doing well, guys. Not seen you for a long time. Both multiple winners of the Euro Tour. And Darryl, a former world 9-ball champion.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, the great run of Roberto Gomez that Darryl put to a stop in the final back in 2007. Very close contest. Well, Oi will feel he's had a bit of a result at this stage. He's not played great at all, and yet it looks like he's going to be level at 2 apiece.
Well, this 9 ball's actually easier than the 1 ball he missed. Or should I say it's harder than the 1 ball he missed.
And so, having trailed 2-0, Naoyuki Oi has found his way back to 2-all. I was asking Carl yesterday, Chris, if he'd played much in Japan, and he said he'd never played there. What about you?
No, I've never been to Japan. I've been to the Philippines 3 or 4 times. Thailand quite a few times. China probably about 50 times. But I've never been to Japan. I'd love to go. I've heard it's a great city and a great country.
Yeah, Tokyo's an amazing place. I was there for the Football World Cup back in 2002. And I know baseball is massive there as well. That's the thing in Japan. When a sport becomes big, it becomes colossal. You think of golf as well, where people can't even get on the courses. They never get beyond the driving range because there's so much demand. And yeah, pool certainly has a big profile there.
Just looking at the other table, Albin Alshan has just played an unbelievable jump shot. He was hooked on the, I think it was the 4 or the 5 ball, jumped over the object ball, hit the ball, hit the 9 and banked the 9 in the side pocket. And he played to do that, it wasn't luck. So that'll give him some confidence.
Your description of it was almost as impressive as the shot itself. 2-all then, as Oi gets us started in the 5th.
He'd have rather that 1 ball stayed over the pocket, would have made his positional shot to the 2 a lot easier. Now he's faced with a tricky little 2. The only good thing here, he can go for the 2 and he may pop the 9 in the left hand corner. He's going to go close.
That's what's coming up today. Well, watch out for this. You've called it, Chris. Let's see if it happens.
Well, I think he's drawing it, so the 9 won't go towards the corner. Well, he got nothing.
Well, the 2 didn't go towards its corner either.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised there. He tried to draw off the 9 ball, but missed a 2 ball by some distance.
If he caught that 3 slightly differently on the way up the table, he might have fluked the 4.
Good shot there. Now this is where you need a special jump cue for this shot, and I've got one in my case. I don't think anybody else has got one with them at this tournament.
So go on then, what's special?
You can basically put the cue ball within millimetres, within 2 or 3 millimetres of the ball that's in front of your object ball, and jump it legally. You wouldn't think it's possible. So basically you can put the cue ball there, jump over the 2 and hit the 4. It's an unbelievable jump cue. I think they call it the Marty Carey jump cue.
Well, he didn't play the jump shot anyway. And a bit of a cagey little exchange going on here.
Yeah, Naoki decided to play a deliberate foul, which he can play. And that's no good. Both players struggling to get the object ball safe. Numerous times have left it short. And again, Billy Thorpe has a chance. Not an easy one. A lot of distance between the cue ball and object ball. Yeah, and he missed that by a long, long way. And again, got lucky.
It's turning into a bit of a slog, this. Meanwhile, over on the other table, Albin Ocean is on the 9 ball for a 3-1 lead over Mieszko Fortunski. And he's knocked that one in. That's Ocean's 30th match of the tournament. 2 of which were against Fortunski yesterday, in fact, including the semi-final, which he won 5-1.
That's a good shot there from Billy. The cue ball keeps rolling. That is a brilliant shot. And I think he's got him. Can play a little swerve. 2 options. He can swerve it off the bottom rail into the 2, or he can slightly swerve it and just flick the 2 ball to the side rail. And that was the danger. You're always sending that ball up towards the corner pocket, and he's left Billy another chance. Can Billy take this one? Nice little shot there. Looking to clip off the 3 ball here and make the 4. Needs to be a little bit careful.
Harder than it looks, this shot.
Played it well.
Yeah, you were right in what you said there. Being careful was exactly the way to describe what he had to do on that one. You mentioned earlier, Chris, he's the only American left in the tournament. Chris Robinson was the other US player in the field, and he went out very tamely on the opening day. And I think Thorpe will enjoy being in that situation. He was so fired up for the Mosconi Cup back in December in Coventry, and then it was a real letdown for him. He just didn't perform, and neither did the American team, to be fair. And that was his last trip over to the UK, so he'll want to make up for that to some extent here.
Yeah, Billy's a real fiery player. Likes to get the crowd going and likes to get in his opponent's face a little, all in good spirit. But he likes to do it just to let him know that he's around and he's going to be there. You're going to have to scrape him off the table.
And loves playing up to the cameras as well, even when he isn't at the table. So he was 2-0 up, he got pegged back to 2-all, but Billy Thorpe regains the lead in his opening match in Group 5 of the Predator Championship League. He's 3-2 up.
Yeah, and going back to some of the players that are not here, one that is missing, who stands out and loves the crowd, Jason Shaw. I'm sure he's watching at home in Connecticut.
Yeah, he just owned the Mosconi Cup, didn't he? Had a great record. He was MVP and he delivered the winning point. Not for the first time in his career, actually, that he'd done that. But I think this time it probably meant that bit more, because on the previous occasion, Europe were still in the midst of that 8 in a row. Well, this time, back in December, it was all about winning it back, and he loved being the man to deliver the winning point, as Europe won by 11 matches to 3.
Yeah, and I've got some breaking news for you also, Michael.
Go on then.
I've just recently found out, when I was looking at Instagram, that Joshua Filler has now tested negative for COVID. Apparently the test that he had was wrong. They put the wrong name on the test.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, him and his wife have both passed the test now.
Well, that was the thing, wasn't it? Because Joshua Filler was meant to be here. He would have been probably the favourite to win the event. Former world champion, reigning US Open champion. And then we got the news round about this time last week that he and his wife Pia, who's a good player herself, wouldn't be able to make the journey because they tested positive. But that's extraordinary what you're saying now. Ralph Souquet, of course, replaced him, but didn't make a huge impact, although we did have the pleasure of his company in the commentary box on a couple of occasions. But Filler will be really sick after so few tournaments to play in over the last year or so that he had to miss out on one, and what you're telling me now, he didn't actually need to.
Yeah, he's an unbelievable player, is Joshua. Massive talent, great potter, and he's only going to get better and better.
He divides opinion a bit. Some people think he's a bit brash, a bit cocky. I'm not in that camp at all. I think he's fantastic, and I love the way he talks about things. And even coming into this event, he had done some pre-tournament publicity, and he was asked about the format, and he said something that just summed him up really. He said, well, you can follow any format so long as you win every match, and that's just his attitude all over. So such a shame that he didn't get to be part of it. I think he's great for the game, and it was a wonderful day when he won the US Open and was so excited about it in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and that's a poor shot Billy's played there to get on the 5. I'm a little surprised he didn't play for the 5 in the other corner, because now he's going to have to stop the cue ball dead. He's dead straight on this 5. I still expect him to get out, but he's making it more difficult for himself. Nice shot there by Billy. Again, playing it the right side of the middle pocket to avoid the in-off. And this 7 to get perfect position onto the 9 to take a 4-2 lead.
Yeah, not been straightforward this, but he's made it happen. He won the first 2, lost the next 2, and now he's won 2 in a row again. Billy Thorpe first to the hill at 4-2. More to follow.
Maybe off the 8. Oh, trick shot by Woodward. What a shot by Albinution.
One thing's guaranteed, that shot will appear on plenty of highlight reels.
Whoa, did he split the wicket? What a beautiful shot that was. What a beautiful execution. Look at this. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it's best if you get up to the table and just hit the ball.
It's Friday in Milton Keynes, Group 5 of the Predator Championship League, where Billy Thorpe is on the hill against Naoyuki Oi. Hasn't been the greatest match of the week, it has to be said, but Billy Thorpe took his chance well there in rack 6. And Oi is now facing the prospect of what would be his 4th defeat in a row.
And once again, no shot at the lowest numbered ball, the 2 ball. He's going to have to play a good safety because he can't really play the bank and get position. So I'll be looking to put the 2 ball on the bottom rail and the cue ball up the table. Trying to get the snooker behind the 7 and 9. And he's played that very well. I think he's stopped Billy from being able to kick from behind it 1 rail, which is very important because if he could do that, he could certainly snooker him back.
Alban Ocean has lost his first match on each of the last 3 days. But he's on the brink of reversing that trend today because he's on the hill, 4-2 up against Mieszko Fortunski on the other table.
Well, he didn't block the 1 rail kick. And Billy's played a great shot. Hooked him behind the 9 and 7. And that's why it's of the utmost importance to get that object ball tight on the cushion.
So it's that classic case, isn't it, of if this shot goes wrong, it could be his last in the whole match.
Well, he's pretty good with the jump shooting shot. And I think he's got lucky. Well, he's left the 2. Billy should make it.
Didn't really get that close, but it was a difficult one. So 1 decent shot here, and this should be all over.
Well, I just noticed what Billy did there. If you watch him when he hits the ball, he doesn't follow through with the cue, he sort of stops quickly. If you just watch the delivery of this, he stops. You see how he stopped real quick? His head moved, his arm moved. Not good technique there.
Well, all these games, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Getting through the ball, whether it's pool, snooker, golf, tennis. But you saw Naoyuki Oi there throwing his hand up because he's not had the luck.
Well, he might have had some here. And he does deserve that, because Billy's got away with it quite a few times when he's made mistakes. Easy shot for Billy here, but he'll be delighted with that result. Well, Billy's left it, and it's a glorious chance for Naoyuki Oi to win his 3rd rack. Maybe a touch awkward because the 7 ball's in the way. He needs to hit the right hand side of the cue ball. The left hand side is where looking. Needs to be careful. He's very close to that 7. He could end up snookering himself if he isn't careful. Well, he's played it well, played it very well.
Just a sign of the times we live in there. He went to hand the bridge to Marcel Eckhart from Berlin, our referee, to put it back, which you would consider fairly normal practice in normal times, but because of the current rules with COVID and everything, he can't handle it. Or he has to put it back himself.
Yeah, quite a few of the rules have changed. Sometimes when the players ran out and potted the 9 ball, they'll get the balls out of the pocket and pass them to the referee, where we're now advised not to touch anything apart from our own cues and our own rest.
I always think it's a bad idea for players to do that anyway, because you're naturally perspiring on your hands, and then that transfers to the balls, and I think that makes it a bit more likely you're going to get a bad contact. So I don't think the players do themselves any favours by doing that at any time. Yeah,
and I totally agree. I don't think you should be able to touch the balls at all, apart from when the referee handles the cue ball and gives it to you. There's been certain players in the past, not mentioning any names, where they've used like stuff that stops your hands from sweating, and basically it gets on the balls, which in turn gets on the cloth and the cushions, and it makes the cushions bounce like crazy. I remember watching Oliver Ortmann at a Euro tour, and the ball bounced like I've never seen anything like it. But Naoyuki pots the 9 there, gets back within 1 rack of Billy Thorpe, trailing 4 racks to 3.
There's Kristina to catch. Struggled really early on today against Mieszko Fortuński and lost by 5 racks to 1. So next up for her, she'll be on this table to play Naoyuki Oi, and Chris will be staying on to talk you through that one in the company of Carl Boys. So that will be along whenever this one has finished. Yeah, we're talking there about players and what they do with the balls at the end of racks. Well, Alex Higgins, the 2-times world snooker champion, who played pool as well, played in the Mosconi Cup in its early days, in fact, and he used to pick the cue ball up and lick it at the end of a frame.
Yeah, what a great player Alex was. Unbelievable talent. Had the joy of meeting him a few times and spending time with him over in Ireland. He actually came over to the World 8-Ball Championships in Blackpool with Quinton Ann many years ago.
Now there's a pair, Alex and Quinton.
And another bad break from Billy. Scratched straight into the side pocket. And look at the way these balls are set out. Naoyuki Oi has just gone favourite for this match.
Yeah, well, he's going to have the break in the final rack if it goes that far. And now you would say it's odds on that it will. One of the things about this format, of course, is that you can end up playing the same player many times over. I mean, you think of Niels Fine and Albin Ocean, they've already played 7 times. Well, been quite a few meetings between Albin Ocean and Mieszko Fortuński as well. They'd already played 4 times this week. Ocean had won the last 3 of those, and he's continued that streak because he's closed it out now against Fortuński in his opening match over on the other table. And Ocean will actually be staying on to play Mark Bijsterbosch, who had a bit of a nightmare really against Roberto Gomez earlier.
And Naoyuki's got that cue ball on a string. Perfect position again. And you can't see anything else than the deciding rack. And I'll tell you what, if both these balls are touching the cushion, he may not be able to make that 6 ball. Well, he's okay, it's just away from the rail. If you're at home practicing, try put the cue ball and the object ball tight against the same rail and try and pot the ball. You can't do it unless you spin it.
Yeah, someone who doesn't play, or doesn't play much, would think that was a straightforward shot, but you're absolutely right. So it's been a match of streaks, hasn't it? Thorpe won the first 2, Oi the next 2, then 2 in a row for Thorpe. And now, back-to-back racks for Naoyuki Oi. We're going to the hill for the first time today.
Yeah, and it's been a bit of a strange game. 2 racks to Billy, 2 racks to Naoyuki. 2 more to Billy, and then 2 to Naoyuki again. So if you look at the pattern, Billy Thorpe should win this match.
Yep, I see your logic, Chris. Just to tidy up what I was saying about Albin Ocean, it was 5-2 that he won that. So Mark Bijsterbosch will now try to stop him in his tracks. Forchunsky finds himself 1 win and 1 defeat so far. And in fact, Bijsterbosch is already breaking off in the opening rack against Ocean. So both players have been a bit inconsistent, a bit in and out. They've both had bits of good and bad luck at times. Anything could happen really in this final rack.
Well, the way things have gone, Michael, you would think that whoever breaks, and I think it's... Is it Billy to break? Or is it Naoyuki?
It's Naoyuki Oi.
If Naoyuki breaks the way he has been breaking, he's not had a shot on the 1 ball.
Naoyuki Oi to break.
What a gift for a 9 ball to go in off this break.
This rack then offers the prize of a winning start in Group 5. Can he get through to the 2?
Yeah, I think he can get through. Wasn't one of his best breaks. Sorry, Michael, he made a ball on the break, but as you can see, there's only 1 ball gone past the kitchen line, as we call it, the balk line, on a snooker or English pool table.
I was going to say, we should know from the overhead angle. We kind of came away from it just before we could see clearly. Well, there it is again now, so yeah, I think it does go.
It's all about controlling your nerves. And the cue ball here, he's got nothing much to do really.
Extension, please.
Just drop the 3 ball in, can play the 4 in the side or the corner, or he could come round the back of it and play the combination. Well, he's decided to play a drag shot, and he's played it well. He's played it very well.
Well, whatever happens, it's a long way from the flying start he made yesterday when he was playing so well on the way to winning all of his first 4 matches. But, you know, what he did yesterday in the end was maybe an advertisement for sort of growing into the group, as it were. Because he really did fade after that. He won those first 4, but then he lost his last 2 of the round robin. Then he lost his semi-final. So really, the key thing here, just get a win on the board early on. You can always grow into it and play better as the day proceeds. When you start off like a train, it's very hard to keep that going all the way through to maybe 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Right here, right now, all he's thinking about is getting that W.
Yeah, and the problem is, like you say, when he played as well as what he did yesterday, then it can only get worse.
Exactly, yeah, that's a perfect way of putting it.
But he's 3 balls away from winning his first match against Billy Thorpe.
Well, Thorpe didn't need this, did he? He wanted to get off to a good start after a disappointing day yesterday, and he was well placed at 4-2, but things just haven't gone his way. Early on yesterday, it was all about the quick fire, fast flowing, comprehensive wins for Naoyuki Oi. This time, it's been much more about battling his way through. He's won the last 3 racks of this one to beat Billy Thorpe 5-4, and Oi will be straight back on the main table to play Christina to catch in just a few minutes' time.